Welcome into the locker room, the most sacred of spaces in sports. Talking you through the behind-the-scenes conversations that happen behind closed doors. With former Nebraska football tight end Chancellor Brewington.
Chancellor Brewington, the 6-year senior tight end, finding his way into the end zone.
And former South Dakota State running back and Nebraska football assistant Mikey Daniel.
Hand off to Daniel inside the 2 to the 1, and he powers his way into the end zone for a South Dakota State touchdown.
This is The Locker Room, brought to you by Ep Foundation Repair. Here are your hosts, Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
I guess just one day before kickoff, Nebraska and Northern Iowa. It is Hall of Fame weekend. Lots to celebrate here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I am Jake Buckelman in with Mikey Daniel. Chancellor, not going to be able to make it today, but that is okay. The show keeps rolling. The Locker Room, one of the hottest new shows here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And we got plenty to talk about football-wise, Mikey, as like we said, big college football weekend and then NFL last night, the Tua, the concussion, plenty to get into.
Man, how you feeling? It's Friday.
Yes.
How you feeling about it?
Well, I feel great on a Friday, and especially just in the football season.
Yeah.
It depends on how much of a football fan you are, but there's a couple games in Kansas tonight. I mean, I just love, football is in the air, obviously for high school, for college, and now the pros are getting going. It's a beautiful time to be alive.
And over this next hour, we got a lot to unpack. Both college, NFL, and just life in general. I think that's the biggest thing, and that's why we wanted to do the locker room, is just so we could shed light on true realities of what players go through, or just people in general. It's not just necessarily sports based. Obviously, it's a big part of what we do, but we're going to talk about true life transitions and situations like that. So, I want to get us started with a quote card. It says, "I believe life is constantly testing us for our level of commitment. And life's greatest rewards are reserved for those who demonstrate a never-ending commitment to act until they achieve. This level of resolve can move mountains, but it must be constant and consistent. As simplistic as this may sound, it is still the common denominator separating those who live their dreams from those who live in regret." Anthony Robbins. And I wanted this quote really stuck out to me. Somebody had sent it to me, and I really liked it because this is the locker room, right? And so we understand what it takes to get there. There's so many people that are looking at these players and they live through them, right? Whether you're a fan, whether parents will live through their kids, whatever the case may be, somebody who wasn't built to play the game, somebody's trying to live through players that are actively doing this, right? And so some people didn't make it because of a work ethic. Some people just didn't make it because genetics weren't on their side, and some people just didn't make it because they weren't interested enough, right? These guys are grinding day in and day out. It's monotonous. It's a true grind. One of the hardest things I've ever done, and it put me in a position in life to succeed in any avenue, because it instilled a work ethic in me that I can now accomplish anything I feel like I put my mind to. And I understand the struggles of what they're going through day in and day out, and how mentally, like, even more so than the physical, it's the mental battle. To tell myself I'm going to get up every single morning 4 or 5 a.m., depending on the team, and go work out. And then I got school, I got film study, I got practice. Like, it's truly a job. And you hear people say that day in and day out, but like, I work a job now, a regular job. And it's nowhere near as time consuming, or the struggle is nowhere near what it was when I was playing football. It's not even close. And I know obviously certain jobs are different than others, right? That is what it is. But I just want to highlight the fact that these kids they're different, and it takes a level of commitment, like the quote card said, that I can either live the dream that I had set out before me, or I can live in regret, and there's no in between. right? Like, I guess you might get there, but you fall short, right? But what are you what are you attaining? Like, what are you reaching for? You know, and I guess back, like, I always knew that I wanted to play this game. I actually was a basketball fan first, but I'm 6 foot, 200. I played at 230 pounds, so not really a hooper. Like build wise, I just wasn't built for it. And so
You play down low and play some guard.
no, I played point guard, yeah, because
Yeah.
I was quick. I played really good defense. But when I played defense, I also would guard big because I was physical, so I could take a post.
Mm.
Um, and so I chased that dream and realized, okay, the sport, I don't pick the sport picked me. And so I once I understood that I wanted to chase football, I chased it like it was the last bus of the night, and I did whatever I wanted. I did whatever I could to get to that point. But we're sitting here down at 93.7 the ticket in the locker room. Is this what you envisioned for yourself? Or what did you want to do and where you're at now? How do they align?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I started at the ticket in 2013, right out of college,
Wow.
and wanted to get into. I mean, a lot of times you have to kind of take some, smaller cities, smaller town jobs to try to
Mhm.
get up here. And luckily, I got broke right into the Lincoln scene, and it's just been awesome to watch the station evolve and grow. Um, what I what I wanted to do was kind of what we've done here, and that's what makes kind of watching this dream come true is it's been very special for me. Now I didn't have the money to do it, so I needed the
Mhm.
Pearsons to come in and help me
Right.
out. But no, they had
Picking that up.
but a similar vision is that to kind of it just felt like there's this whole opportunity in Lincoln for that we just don't have a whole lot of fanfare about former players.
Yeah.
And it just kind of seemed like the stars kind of aligned, the NIL opportunities, the
Mhm.
more the so that the kids can kind of build their own brand and all that stuff. So it kind of just kind of built right into what DP's goal was, and I've kind of been along with that. And then it's so it has it's been incredible. It's been a lot of fun to be a part of it. But it is important to keep goals ahead of yourself too,
Mhm.
because sometimes once you reach something, it's like, all right, then what's next? and
What's
and so
next?
that's kind of the big idea. um you know for me personally, I am a father of a 3-year-old, and
Nice.
that's my biggest goal in life, is to be the best father I can be.
Yeah.
And then so you kind of got to stack your priorities where they may be, but that's what I work on every day, and enjoy every day that I get to spend with my son. So it's it could be career wise or family wise or wherever, but it is important to keep
Mhm.
those goals out there.
Mhm. No, I'm picking that up, and that's huge. That's being a man, and that's one thing we want to talk about is fatherhood, parenthood, the struggles and the blessings of that. Because you may love your kids, but doesn't mean it's not a struggle. Doesn't mean it's not a grind, right? And I just looking back, because I have 2 kids of my own, and that's why I left coaching in that world, is because I didn't have my dad in the picture, and so I always told myself I'm gonna be the dad that I never had, and I don't feel like I was living up to that when I was gone as much as I was in, being up at the facility. And that's no shade, that's no disrespect. That's just the reality. There's a lot of time spent there. And some people handle it better than others, right? To me, it wasn't the right fit, right? It just wasn't for me. Like I said, because of who I knew I wanted to be. And the coolest part for me is that even though I'm not in the locker room or in the facility like that anymore. I was on the sideline last weekend for the Colorado game, but just the impact that I still have on these guys, and that's the blessing. That's why I wanted to get back into it. That's why I wanted to circle back to the game, because it gave me so much. It provided me opportunities that a kid like me grew up poor, you know, like I said, originally from Seattle. I shouldn't have been able to do things I've done in life. Through my 27, I'll be 28 in November, years of living, I have accomplished so much. And so when you say what's next, that's where I'm at. It's like, okay, you've achieved X, Y, and Z. And it didn't matter how I started. It doesn't matter how you start, right? It just how am I gonna finish? What do I want to leave behind? And along the road, in the in between, how many lives can I affect positively? It's not just affect, it's because by nature I've affected lives negatively, right? Young Mikey and stuff like that, right? But how my goal is how many people I wake up every day and ask God, use me. Who who do you want to bless through me today? Like who's reveal to me who's struggling and needs a word from you. It's not from me, right? It's from him. And I full-heartedly believe that it's more blessed to give than receive, as the Bible tells us. I fully believe that. The Bible also tells us that the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. This is not a sermon, but I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't have my God, and so I'm always going to highlight that, and I'm always going to talk about him because he's done so much for me. But because of that, like I said, it's now our duty and our responsibility to pour back in. And so I'm not seeing your Instagram post with your kid and with your son, man. That's beautiful. I love watching parents be parents. And one thing that somebody told me, he said, kids, and I didn't recognize this, but it just came full circle for me. Like a month ago, kids have they have three stages for their parents. First, they idolize you. Dad, mom, like superhero. Then they demonize you. Like, I don't want to listen to they do whatever they want. And third is they humanize you. Okay, I see. I now understand, right? And so I had this conversation with my dad. It's like, within the last month, and I just kind of asked him. I'm like, hey, I needed you, but like you wasn't there. And he goes, I get it because I'm dealing with that too. And his father wasn't there. And so, unfortunately, this is a reality of a lot of those players and a lot of the players and people in general around the country. And that is now my responsibility. So that was my humanization moment for him. It's like, okay, you know what? I now pick up with you. I now get it. I'm with you. And the reason I do what I do is because, like I said, there was coaches and mentors along the road that filled that gap, right? That's why I love the game, because it gave me the people that I needed along the way. And so now when I look at these guys and I'm getting texted before and after the game, I'm getting calls before and after the game. Hey, can I come over and talk? Yeah, you can. And don't matter what time it is. Like, it don't matter what time of the day and night, it'd be holiday. Come on over. It don't matter, because that is not my impact. And so to look at how far I came and where I started to where I'm at now, that's the blessing. And sometimes I lose sight of that, and like I said, I'm inspired by watching people be mom and dad. So thank you for what you're doing for your son. That's awesome, bro.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We got to take a catch up on breaks. We got plenty of football to talk about, as you can tell, and get deeper than that here on the Locker Room. We'll be right back with more on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Are you looking for affordable drinks and a great atmosphere this football season? Highball Bar has you covered. Whether it's pregame tailgating, postgame festivities, or in-game celebrations, Highball Bar is the place to be. With $4 beers, $4 mixed drinks, and more during their 4 to 8 p.m. daily happy hour, Highball Bar will quickly become your go-to place to sit back, unwind, and be your team's #1 fan. Highball Bar, located in downtown Lincoln, just 3 blocks from Memorial Stadium at 122 North 11th Street.
Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Get closer to the magic than ever before. Play along with the Toy Story gang. Explore the colorful world of Coco. Sail away with Moana. Soar to new heights with Belle. and journey to Arendelle to thaw a frozen heart. It's an all-out celebration at Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Surge Party. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena September 27th through 29th. Visit DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets today.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Finger, one love. Order online or on our app.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. It's neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models and all different colors available, and we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from. Plus, qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talk to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Hondas, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raising Cane's, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
College football season is back, and you can hear the top games all year long here on 93.7 The Ticket. This week, we have an SEC Big Ten collision set to kick off at 11 a.m. Kalen DeBoer, Jalen Milroe, and the new-look Alabama Crimson Tide will face their first big test of the season by heading to Camp Randall to take on Tyler Van Dyke and the Wisconsin Badgers. Will they be jumping around in Madison after an upset this week? Find out by tuning in for a 10:30 pregame leading to an 11 a.m. kickoff. Catch the action on the gridiron all season long here on 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by App Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here in the locker room on 93.7 The Ticket. More football, more family, and just anything around football. More talk here in the locker room. I'll send it over to Mikey to get this conversation going.
Welcome back. Big shout out. As you know, we had a special guest Dave Epp on with us yesterday from our sponsor here at Foundation Repair. So we're big fans of them. We love them, all the work that they do around the community, just making sure that our buildings are safe and stuff like that. So shout out to F Foundation Repair. This is actually a sweatshirt. You see the triple E. It's not Adidas. It's in fact at Foundation Repair. So
I think he could play still. He kind of undersells him. I know he went to Wesleyan and stuff. He seemed like he's got some football works fine.
Dude, I'm telling you, he still got it. We work out regularly together. He's big on CrossFit.
Oh, okay.
Dave is big into CrossFit. Not a big fan of CrossFit. I'm not. It's growing on me because I do it regularly now, but it keeps me competitive, I guess, and it's a different type of shape.
Yeah.
Right? It keeps you in shape, and I never really wanted to go down that dad bod route. So like CrossFit has kind of done it for me. So I'm able to stay interactive with that and not go in the direction I don't want to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing I want to talk about is it's Friday in the locker room. So what do we do here? Our mindset as a player is Fast Friday. In the NFL, they call it Fast Friday. And Coach Rule kind of implemented that here too. They'll do a quick, probably they shouldn't be out there for longer than an hour. They're in and they're out. They're running and gunning, making sure they're just loose. Today's just about making sure all my I's is dotted, my T's is crossed. I said that before and I'll continue to say it. It's just making sure everybody's on the same page, both staff-wise and player-wise, and just making sure that the body's ready to go. The work is done. The hay's been put in the barn. And so now moving forward, it's okay. I have to adjust my mindset from practice to I got to go play in front. I get to go play in front of 90,000 tomorrow, right? And here's the trap. Northern Iowa's coming to town. Who is that? I know who it is because I played in the FCS. I had several good games against them. Tough opponent. And the trap is the fact that the buzz isn't what it was last week. And if we're going to be who we're supposed to be, if we're going to be who Nebraska should be and who we're chasing, the buzz has been created by the fans. Last week, the city was on fire, right? Like I said, you could walk out, you walk outside, you smell the air, you just felt Colorado was coming. I'm not feeling that this week, and that's scary. That's not a place that you want to be, because there's no reason that we couldn't lose. Football is football, and Saturdays we've seen crazier. And so I know that inside those four walls, they're preparing the same way. I was with the running backs last night, got to kick it with them, and I know their mindset's where it's supposed to be. But that doesn't mean that as human nature, you kind of slip, But how do you feel about this game? Like, how do you feel about what I just talked about being a trap, about Northern Iowa as an opponent, and about where we're currently sitting?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that maybe, and I was talking to Steve Taylor about this, I think that it could be a blessing in disguise that they didn't finish that Colorado game off as well, like in the second half, didn't score and all that, because it lets you in, reminds you that that even though you did get to the goal, you beat Colorado, that there's a lot of work to be done.
Right.
But I'm fascinated by the whole idea of it, because watching, first off, if chasing three is incredible. I mean, that's everything that I think you would want as a college football fan, as much access as you're going to get, unless you don't like swearing, which they bleep that out too.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, then that's everything you'd want. And so when I just watching that though, and trying to think through the coach's perspective, and I kind of wanted to ask you about kind of the same steps, the Fridays are going to look the same as the previous Fridays and stuff, but it's hard because I know the coaches have to preach, this is the same as last week. We got, but at the same time, I don't know if Tom Osborne's going to show up and speak. I don't know if Bud Crawford's going to show up and
Right.
speak. So how do you kind of balance, hey, we need to have just as much importance on this week and next week, along with the natural like aspect of it, like you said, of just kind of it was in the air, you're having
Mhm.
guest speakers, everybody's in town, and it's just
Mhm.
naturally not the same buildup.
That's your character now. And how you do anything is how you do everything. And so if I prepared last week different than I'm preparing this week, I'm fraudulent, right? And I don't really deserve the crown. So the trap is not only, okay, the game's not as big. The other trap that we haven't mentioned is that they're ranked. I haven't seen that before. Again, I know Coach Rule, and I know that he's hit on that. Like, you're 23rd, and that's your standard. No, that's not. He didn't come to Nebraska to say I'm bringing us back to be ranked 23rd, right?
Right.
That's not it. And so, like you just hit on, I'm happy that they. If you're perfect, there's nothing to fix, and they didn't end the way they should have last week, which shows me, okay, if I don't play all 4 quarters this week and continuous weeks coming forward, we'll lose. Like, we're getting into the Big Ten next week. Illinois is coming to town on Friday night. They're no joke, right? And so it's gonna be body blows for 4 straight quarters, right? It's dog on dog. Like, they're going to give you their best for 4 straight. To me, Colorado we shot them in the leg and then they limped off. And they had no fight in them. They look weak to me, you know. And I kind of expected it, truth be told, because they've made it more about the show than the game. And that's not a place. Like I said last week, we don't want to play their game. We don't want to play the show. We want to play the game. And so, yeah, I think that Coach Rule has hit on them several times. Like I said, I was with the running backs last night, and they hit on the fact that this is no different, right? The people around outside those walls, it might be different too, but Crawford might not be in the locker room walking them out. Okay, my mindset is still on 1-0, right? And so I think that that's been bred into them. This time last year, if you would ask me the same question, I don't know. But now they're bought into the standard and they're brought into the process. The process is everything. And so, like I said earlier, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah, it's a challenge that it's kind of fun, that you kind of go through, and it's really it's not I don't know how much they hear that too. Is the ranking that you said Northern Iowa coming into town, but it's like as soon as Colorado is kind of the big obstacle, and everybody's like, all right, 7-0, that's the expectation, and and there's just so much more work to be done than just saying, yeah, we should beat them. Nebraska, it's a building program. But it's not where they want to be, like you said, with Matt Rule, to the point that you could just say, yeah, it doesn't matter with Illinois or Indiana. I mean, you got to focus on yourself, right? Huskers versus Huskers and all that. But, I'm just not a big fan of that whole 7-0 talk. Like, yeah, it's fun to check off wins, but we've done that for years. And Nebraska's been losing annually to the Big Ten West teams that people traditionally think they should beat.
2 things are crazy about people saying we should be talking about 7-0. One, how did you overlook all these other teams in the process? Because right now we've only played 2 games. So that means 5 teams you just said W, right? And I know they're not watching football like that, and they're not understanding the analytics and understanding matchups and how people play differently. I know that. So that's crazy to me. The other thing that's crazy to me is the fact that you said 7-0. Why did we glitch at 8? So if you're gonna do it, right? If you're gonna say 7-0, why are you now counting us out of 8? And that's what's happened, right? Because you just said 7-0. And what about 8? Right? If you're gonna play that game, which I already don't think you should, what about 8? And what about 9 and 10? And it doesn't matter if it's Ohio State, it doesn't matter if it's USC, Iowa, Wisconsin. Why did we glitch? Because they've already lost the game for them mentally. That's why they can't be swayed. That's why they have to do what they do. Because if they listen to that, now if I put in my mind 7-0, 7-0, I'll get there. I'll get to 7-0. But now I've lost 8. And whatever you think, it'll come to pass, right? And so that's crazy to me. One, you counted out all these other teams when we've played 2 games against 2 teams that aren't good. It's not like Colorado's good. Like, don't get that twisted. Shedeur may be good. Travis Hunter might be good. Where's the rest of them? that team is not going to win very many games.
UTEP lost an FCS opponent last week.
Like, what are we doing? But now we're 7-0. Okay, great. What are we doing? Now we lost game 8. They've already told us that we're going to lose game 8, right? So that's why their vision has to be tunnel vision. Their vision is not 7-0. It's not even 8-0. It's not 12-0. It's 1-0. It's how I have to win today's practice. Okay, I've bodied the practice. Now I gotta body the rest of the day. My preparation. What does my preparation look like? I'm calm. I'm watching a movie. I'm in my music. I'm studying. Whatever your preparation may be, I have to body that. That's 1-0 for this day. And then tomorrow will take care of itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Are you big on that 7-0, 8, and
it's funny because there's all these sorts of discussions in the offseason, and my argument was always, okay, they haven't won 7 games in a year since 2016 or whatever it was. So that's hard for me to, to get on board with. But then you're now kind of seeing the same thing. And it's just fascinating because now the idea is Nebraska's in the top 25. People are starting to sneak around. Okay, what about college football playoff? And that's it. That's the cutoff at 12 and you're at 23. So maybe you shouldn't, maybe you can think of that. It's just how quickly minds can change, because the opposite of that is now that Nebraska's won 2 games, now everybody's walking around like, yeah, we just don't, you don't just want a bowl game. And that should be true. The goal is not 6. But at the same time, you can't count 7-0 before you get there. So, it's still like this process, and that was kind of with last year's team. I think it's obvious that you don't just want 6, but it's not easy to get to 6. It's hard. I mean, Matt Rule kind of said that after they won 5, a kind of a similar thing, and I don't remember what the exact quote was, but that we're not just looking for 6, we're going to get more than that, and try to get more than that. But it was a dogfight to get to that 6th win, and they never could do it. So it's just these counting wins before they happen. To a team that's lost a lot of close ball games over the years, you think you'd learn your lesson.
To any team.
Yeah.
Like, to any team is crazy. It doesn't matter if it's Alabama. It doesn't matter who it is. Why are we chalking things up? You know how I know their mindset is different over there? What did Coach Rule say this week? And it's blown up. It's on T-shirts. It's everywhere. He said, what? Kegs, eggs, and football.
Yeah.
He said, I'll start in the morning. Why? Because he wants to go 1-0. He's not thinking about 4, 5, 6, 7. He's thinking about 1-0. Chasing 3, do we even know what chasing 3 means, or is it just something? It's just something that you guys heard, that the people heard. Chasing 3 is we lost multiple games by 3 points last season, so he's chasing those 3 points every week. How can I be 3 points better? And then it's not 3 because we lost by 3, so that'd be a tie. Now it's 4. How can I realistically be 4 points better every week? Right? The idea, the mantra is kegs, eggs, and football. Great. It blew up. Crazy quote. I love it. Right. I'm with it. But that's why his mindset is different, because he's not counting. He's like, I'm hungry. I want to go get this one, because he understands it's a trap game too.
Let's go ahead and take another quick break here. We'll be right back with more on The Locker Room on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements. Experience a cleaner tomorrow with Niederhaus Refuse. Whether it's weekly residential pickups, large-scale commercial disposals, recycling, or roll-off, Niederhaus's team is here with reliable, efficient service and the most advanced solutions. Discover the difference that a committed and experienced waste management company can make. Niederhaus Refuse has been in business for over 100 years and is family-owned and operated since 1921. Call Niederhaus Refuse at 402-475-8361 and visit their website at nbrefuselincoln.com to learn more or sign up for your service today.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Concerts keep rolling at Pinewood Bowl with a great show on Wednesday, September 18th. Bare Naked Ladies headlines with Toad the Wet Sprocket starting things off at 7 p.m. for a trip down 90s memory lane. Don't miss Bare Naked Ladies and Toad the Wet Sprocket on Wednesday, September 18th at Pinewood Bowl. Get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Primary care that understands you. At CHI Health Clinic, our dedicated primary care team takes time to hear you, understand you, and get to know you and your family at every stage of life. We believe in building lasting relationships with our patients. That's why we offer convenient, affordable health care close to home or work. Find out how we treat your whole family like family at chihealth.com/primary care.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Oh, Kansas. Here we go. Second half today. You just don't stop giving, do you? Green flag, we're underway. The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. What a finish, boys. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 4 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs. Goddamn drive. Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 27th through the 29th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
HealthLink is elevating the human experience with holistic health, weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and wellness solutions. They offer one-on-one health coaching while personalizing nutrition and wellness plans for structure and simplicity. HealthLink provides nutritious foods such as high-protein entrees, meal replacement snacks, and supplements. But that's not all. If you mention 93.7 The Ticket, you'll get a 5% discount on your order and $20 off your first month if you start a HealthLink subscription. Find your missing link with HealthLink today on the southeast corner of 70th and Pioneers or by phone at 402-858-9356. As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by App Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the locker room. Today, Chancellor Brewington is out. Myself, Jake Bachman, stepping in and joining Mikey Daniel for a lot of football to talk. Big football weekend already got kicked off last night, both in the NFL and in college football. NFL one in particular, a little bit surprising, I think, to many, that the Bills had a big 31-10 win over the Dolphins. Kind of the new look Bills is why it was surprising. But Josh Allen now 12-2 against the Dolphins in his career. Mikey, what are your thoughts from last night's football action?
I'm not gonna lie, I was caught way off guard. I really had the Dolphins winning it. I thought it would have been close, and it was never close from the jump. I'm big on Joe Brady, so he was the offensive coordinator when I was in Carolina.
Oh yeah,
and so really loved him. And he came from LSU, so I had trained with Justin Jefferson before my rookie year, Patrick Queen, Caleb Von Chasen, a lot of those guys from the LSU team. And they had talked so highly of him at that point, and then to have the opportunity that he was my offensive coordinator was really cool. And so I'm big on him. I think he's great with, Josh Allen and that team. I think they, and their offense wasn't even great last night. I mean, their defense is what did it. I was just blown away. I'm not gonna lie. I completely missed the ball, and I don't like missing the ball. I really don't, but I completely missed the ball on that one. Um, Obviously, we'll just address the Tua situation, but before that, what did you see and what did you like or not like from last night's game?
Well, like you said, it was more of just kind of a defensive showcase for Buffalo, and it's just interesting that they've got now in the first game. Unfortunately, they put up 34 against my Cardinals and got the win. But it is interesting. I think Josh Allen now. I don't think people expected the Bills to be 2-0.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and especially if you would have given him Josh Allen's passing stats, which he hasn't thrown for over 200 in either game,
Wow.
that they would be 2-0 and averaging 30 points a game. So, it's just amazing. And then anytime any defense can shut down Tyreek Hill, I mean, what do you have, like 34 yards or something?
Mhm.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's I mean, we talked about it even with Travis Hunter on the field, like
Yeah.
where he got 100, and we're still saying, well, that's still a great job just to limit him because
Yeah.
some guys are going to get theirs. Tyreek's typically a guy that's going to get his.
Yeah. No, that was impressive. And they don't have Tre'Davious White in that backfield or in that, in the DB's room anymore. So I was a little skeptical of what they were gonna look like, but they did their thing. They held their own. Um, but as far as Tua, man, ah, that one hits home for me. I'm not gonna lie. That one's tough to watch. Obviously suffered his concussion, and I was sad. That hurt me. And the quote from his coach, I believe he said, "You're the starting quarterback of your family." What do you take away from that?
It's unfortunate, like you said. I mean, if you didn't see it, he got hit, and really kind of did it himself. He put his head down against DeMar Hamlin of all people,
Mhm.
and kind of ran into his elbow, and so. But you could tell he went down. Fencing is kind of the term in concussion where you don't have complete control of
Yeah.
your arms. He didn't. Didn't look, like the first one where his fingers were everywhere. But it was another kind of fencing situation, and um, I said after that one that I was a little bit worried because I just didn't want to see him take a hit. And enough weeks passed, year and a half, whatever, and you're like, okay, kind of forgot about it. Then when it happens again, you just go, oh man, there was a time that I was, when he was coming back the first time, a little uncomfortable watching it. And then you kind of, okay, well, as long as he doesn't take a hit, it's fine. But at some point, you do just, like you said, you kind of think about his family. You think about the point that, I know he's signing a bigger contract here recently, but he should have, you never know how athletes take care of their money, but he should have enough in that regard. And I know he's a competitor, but I mean, even Antonio Pierce, Raiders head coach today, kind of said he thinks he should retire. And so that's kind of where we're getting with it, which is really unfortunate.
Do you agree?
I do, because even like, again, even as a spectator, I'm uncomfortable watching these first couple of weeks after another one of these, and you just kind of get to the question of how many bad concussions are too many, and that's kind of what I wanted to ask you was like, well, what is the number? I mean, you guys, do football players kind of keep a number in their pocket of like,
Oh
all right,
yeah.
this is how many concussions I've had?
Oh yeah. They know. We know. And yeah. So this is why it was tough for me. And earlier I alluded to it kind of hitting home for me. So after my time in Carolina, during when I was there, I tore my labrum. So I never ended up re-signing with the team after I was released there. I then go on to play in the USFL, and I didn't want to, but my running back coach from Carolina, he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, you should be playing on Sundays, so go play in this league, and then make your way back." So I go to the USFL. I'm playing for the Pittsburgh Maulers. I had a daughter on the way, Khaleesi. She's my firstborn. That's my baby, and so I went on a swipe block, take out a defensive end, and when I went to cut him, his knee hit me right in the side of the head, and I got knocked out cold, like knocked out. And that was the first time I ever had a concussion. But it was pretty bad. It was significant enough that when I came out the field, like I didn't know, and I didn't know for a while. Like I forgot that I had a daughter on the way. There was I
Yeah.
wasn't really sure of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so obviously everything came back to me. But I always told myself that when I start playing with the head, I'll be done with it because the mind is so powerful, and you can never get it back. Like once that's gone, it's gone. And Ernest Biner, he's a very, 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 very close mentor of mine. He used to play for the Browns way back in the day. was part of that team or the running back duo that had like the record for duos of running backs until Mark Ingram and Kamara broke it. Which he wasn't happy about, by the way, because he said that Mark Ingram cheated, side story. But I watch him day in and day out now, and I have conversation with him, and he struggles. He's in lawsuits with them. He's struggling because his head is gone. Like it's not there. And that was always a fear of mine. So this one hits home, and that's why I ended up calling it quits. That's why, I was talking to the Cowboys with my head coach in Atlanta. Dan Quinn was now the DC there at that point. And he was big on me, and he wanted to get me in for a workout. And I was like, this is it. Like I'm done. Like, because ultimately I know how important it is. I know how important it is to be that dad and to be, husband, whatever that may look like. And so I think Mike McDaniel hit it right on the head. Mike McDaniel, that's his name? Mike McDaniel.
Who's that? Oh, yeah, Coach McDaniel.
Yeah,
McDaniel,
yeah. I think he hit it right on the head, and he said, "You're the starting quarterback of your family." And so, if I'm in his circle, I'm heavily encouraging him to step away for good. Like, go do something else, because it's not that serious, and this game is just a game. You'll never get out alive. So I hope that he does make the decision to walk away, as tough as it will be and as painful as it's going to be for him and for his family. I do believe that Antonio Pierce is right. It's time for him to walk away.
Let me kind of take this conversation and bring it into kind of what was going on with Nebraska, Colorado too. Was just a lot of targeting calls, a lot of people questioning targeting calls. Obviously, they're trying to clean up the game. The kickoffs have changed in the NFL, trying to make the game as safe as they can. And it does come at the cost of fans complaining. You look at highlight tapes from the 90s. The highlights were these illegal hits that we're seeing everywhere now. So football is definitely changing over the years, and it comes with that frustration. Do you think that as you watch it, it's still worth it? Because especially for defensive players, sometimes it's like you have to make not even a split second is too long. It's like the split second decision on whether you're going after a guy when he's sliding. We kind of saw that with Shador in Bayer, and try to get your head in the right place at the last second. It's just a lot to ask of people, but at the same time, that's what they're worried about primarily, more than anything, is the head injury.
And rightfully so. And it's like people, oh, these guys are soft because they're wearing those Guardian caps. It's like, dude, you sitting on your couch. I am 230 pounds, and I'm running 20 miles an hour at somebody that's also 230, if not 300, 330, whatever. And I'm taking that to the head every single day. Like, you're sitting on your couch and you're worried about me wearing a Guardian cap. I'm a human, right? Like, I still have a life, a family. If you want to know what it's like, take your head, put a helmet on, just start smashing it into the wall over and over and over again every day. Tell me how it feels. Tell me if you're not going to want to put a Guardian cap on. Would I have ever worn one? No, but doesn't mean I'm going to take it away from those who feel like they should. You know what I mean? Like, you're soft is crazy, like, or they have that mentality that they're soft because they're wearing that or whatever. It's crazy to me. But again, people are people, so that is what it is. I don't know. I think that division, as we talk about the Bills and Dolphins, I don't know how it's going to shake up anymore. And even the Patriots, they under Mayo, being their head coach now, that's going to be interesting. My question: How long until we see Drake May crack that lineup in New England? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's interesting to see over time how the minds have changed, because this is kind of how it typically was done. Was that you would kind of warm up your rookie halfway through the year, give him a shot. Now everybody wants their bang for their buck right away. See what their rookie, if he's got it, So and we've seen, there's certain circumstances, the Aaron Rodgers, when you sit on the bench for 3 years, is that what made him who he is today? Or how much of that played into it? There's a lot of question marks there. But I do think, at least in my mindset, it would be toward kind of what I was saying earlier is, make sure if your team's if you feel like Jacoby Brissett's your best chance at getting to the playoffs, as long as you're in playoff contention, then don't do a disservice to your team and try something new. But if it's week 8, week 9, and you're 4-5, or and you're still in the playoff contention, but you got to kind of balance short-term playoffs. This year's success. How much does it mean to make it to the wild card and get knocked out compared to getting Drake May ready for the future and maybe making a Super Bowl run in a few years? So that's kind of what I would think is if there is a significant difference, then once you kind of fall out of the playoff race is when I would make the change.
That makes sense. So let me ask you, this is circling back to Nebraska and Northern Iowa this week. With that being said, putting a lot on a young guy. Is this week a run heavy week, pass happy week? What do you see?
I think they need to I think they got to kind of keep it balanced, because I don't feel like this is a team who's if you're coming in as a defense are overly concerned with one side or the other, because it is a balanced team at this point. So I think you want to get that ground game going, but at the same time, they kind of struggled, and that's what Chancellor kind of made the challenge earlier in the week, is the wide receiver group as a whole just needs to be take a big step up this week, whether that is in getting open down the field or blocking down the field, and that that brings in the run in the pass. So I'd like to see Dylan throw for 200. I wouldn't necessarily feel like he needs to get to 300 or 4 touchdowns. Just kind of keep it within rhythm of your game. And if you can build that confidence on that offensive line, like they were running through the holes that were there in the first quarter and a half against Colorado, that's that. Dylan's always going to have an arm. Play action is going to go well, and
Right.
so. But if they can get the ground game running and have that be kind of their backbone this year, I think they'll be more dangerous that way.
Absolutely. I think that moving forward, and we've said, okay, we know I have a bias to the running backs. I understand that. But I also believe in the power and the importance of having the run game first. Like, you look at Patrick Mahomes, he's great. But Pacheco's also great, bro. Like, he can take a game over himself.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not lose sight of that. And I think that they go hand in hand. And I think that as we continue into these bigger games and into the Big Ten play, and that's the only reason I say it's bigger, because it's conference, divisional, stuff like that. I think that our run game is going to have to continue to rise. And we've had the question, who is it going to be? And I think we're starting to see that.
Yeah.
I think that's starting to. I think the cream is rising to the top, and Dante looks really good. But Ramir looks really good. Emmett is always going to look really good, and Gabe is still really good too. So EJ, Sat, Rule, they have a lot on their hands. Donnie, how do we feed this 4-headed monster, and how do we make it realistic? Because it's not going to be realistic to play off 4, and we know that. They've talked about going to 3. Okay, even at 3, you're going to play really 2, like we saw last week. We really only saw Dante and Ramir last week. We saw a glimpse of, we had one carry from Emmett, 1 or 2 from Gabe, So that's starting to show face of what it's going to look like, I think.
Well, and 2, I think the biggest challenge is keep whoever's 3 and 4 is not keep them happy with carries, which is part of it, but keep them ready, because you might have your 2 for a couple of weeks, but as we saw last year, your top 2 can go down in a week, and I think this is typically that's a position you're going to need to get those guys, and we've seen over the years, and I'm going way back, but the Brandon Jackson, the Divina Zigbo, where if there have been times where the guy that's 3rd or 4th on the depth chart going into the year ends up being 1,000-yard back, ends up being drafted, ends up really taking off that year just by waiting in the wings and waiting for his turn.
Next man up.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break here on The Locker Room. We got a little bit more football to talk and a lot of football to pick. We'll do that coming up next year on The Locker Room on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from UBT Stadium as the Norris Titans travel to Lincoln and face off against the Lincoln Northwest Falcons at 7 p.m. Both teams looking for their first win of the season as Norris fell to Scott and Gretna, and Lincoln Northwest has lost to Ralston and Scotts Bluff so far this year. Kickoff between the Titans and the Falcons is scheduled for 7 p.m. on Friday, and you can hear all the action unfold right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
HealthLink is elevating the human experience with holistic health, weight loss, nutrition, fitness, and wellness solutions. They offer one-on-one health coaching while personalizing nutrition and wellness plans for structure and simplicity. HealthLink provides nutritious foods such as high-protein entrees, meal replacement snacks, and supplements. But that's not all. If you mention 93.7 The Ticket, you'll get a 5% discount on your order and $20 off your first month if you start a HealthLink subscription. Find your missing link with HealthLink today on the southeast corner of 70th and Pioneers or by phone at 402-858-9356.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at USC in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at HuskerFanTravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a downtown LA hotel, exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at USC. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at HuskerFanTravel.com.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right, most recommended Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, and it will be breezy. We'll see an afternoon high around 89. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, the low around 62. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and lighter winds, an afternoon high around 85. Meteorologist Kyle Cutter for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Be a memory for your grandchildren. Among Nebraska adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by F Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment here on a Friday in the locker room. Week 2 of the brand new show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Chancellor Brewington once again out today, but he will be back next week. Mikey Daniel in here, along with myself, Jake Bachman. It's time for us to look forward to this weekend and maybe make some picks.
Yes, sir. Let's finish this thing up, Bach. It's been a good show to this point. So let's finish this thing off with a bang. I want to get into your predictions and see. I want to get into the mind of Bach and see how I know he's a Cardinals fan, so he's already tripping with that. So he might have some questionable picks as we get into it. First game I want to talk about, Kansas and UNLV. It's tonight. It's tonight at 6:00. They have Kansas at home -9. What you think?
And obviously Kansas coming off a turnover-prone game against Illinois. Carricker's been saying all week that after reviewing the tape, looking at that, he thinks Kansas is the better team. They just kind of threw that game away. UNLV, I think a 9-win ball club last year. They're a program on the rise, so it's no joke here. I mean, they've got to try to take care of business. I'm leaning toward the Jayhawks just because I think they should have that. There's a lot of expectations for them coming into the year. They lost to Illinois, kind of throwing them off. I feel like they're going to want to get back, but would not be surprised by a running Rebel victory.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it'll be that close. I think it'll be 10-point game at least. I like Kansas at home by 10, coming off of a game that I feel like they probably were the better team as well. There was high hopes for them this year, and I think they get back on track tonight.
So we'll say this: UNLV was, maybe among the Mountain West teams, the most surprising not to get the invite to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So maybe they're hungry themselves.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I guess we'll see tonight, huh?
Yeah.
The next one also tonight at 7:00. We got Arizona at Kansas State. We got 2 games in Kansas. Kansas is rocking tonight.
I know.
And they're both on Fridays.
Let's think about driving down there. Maybe
going
to one of the games.
Right. Kansas. So they got Kansas State -7.
Yeah, and they struggled with Tulane. Arizona struggled with Northern Arizona last week. And so, Kansas State, obviously Tulane a lot more respected than Northern Arizona is at. And Arizona would be a top 10 team probably if they brought back Jed Fish at this point. But the whole question is with their new quarterback or their new coach. But I still like Noah Fifita and T-Mac out there with the best players on the field. And as we know, we saw last week, sometimes the 2 best players on the field isn't going to get you the win. But I like the Arizona Magic. I think it continues. I think it's more in those 2 guys than it is in Jed Fish.
Wow. I got Kansas State. I like them at home. I didn't think they looked very good last week against Tulane. My brother, his name Jalen, we were together in Atlanta our rookie year. His dad's the defensive coordinator for Tulane. So I'm big on bias. I'm loyal.
Yeah.
So so they looked really good, but I like Kansas State to come home and get a dub tonight. The other one, we got Alabama, Wisconsin. At Wisconsin, they have Alabama -16.
Yeah, and that's a game that'll be right here on 93.7 The Ticket as well. So if you want to tune in, you can hear it here. Alabama was playing with their food a little bit against South Florida, so maybe you could see the same thing here. Wisconsin just hasn't gotten off to a great start this year, though. And I think the further they move into trying to find a new identity, the further they're going to find out that maybe they should have just stuck to their old identity.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be one of those wake-up calls.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll be close. I like Alabama by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
at least.
Cover. I think they covered.
Yeah, -16, they for sure cover that.
Yeah.
Perfect. We got LSU and South Carolina. At South Carolina, they have LSU -6.
big game for Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
After you've already lost a game against a respectable opponent. But South Carolina just sent Kentucky fans a little bit into their worrying part of the season before they wanted to get to. You could do the same thing here. I do like LSU. They did compete against USC. I think those are two good teams, so I think they overcome it and get the win here. But that's an interesting one.
Yeah, LSU, they don't look all that great to me. I'm gonna take South Carolina at home. I'm gonna do it.
Shane Beamer upsets are always fun.
And then I see Brian Kelly on his way out sometime this season.
Wow.
Crazy take maybe, but I'm calling it out right now. Boston College at Mizzou.
I like Missouri, similar to kind of what I was saying earlier this year, or earlier this segment with Arizona. They've got one of the best quarterback wide receiver tandems. Luther Harden might be the best wide receiver in the nation. But look out. I've always been a big fan of Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Maybe better suited for college than pro as far as a head coach goes. I don't know if you ever got the best quarterback with the Texans to begin with, and it's always going to be tough to win without a great quarterback in the NFL. So look out for that matchup. But I think it's, Boston College, and they got Bill O'Brien kind of the national attention ahead of schedule by beating Florida State, but I don't think they're quite ready for Missouri.
I agree. I agree. I think Missouri handles them. I don't know if they cover 14.5, but I think they'll win. Oregon and Oregon State.
Oregon's been struggling early in the season, at least compared to what we thought they'd be. And Oregon State's a pretty darn good ball club, but I feel bad for them.
Minus 16.
Yeah. I think Oregon wins, and I think Oregon finally breaks out of their shell. And I'm not going to say they cover because that's a big number. But Oregon State's kind of in that. I just feel really bad for that program. You lose your quarterback, you lose your head coach, you lose your running back, Damian Martinez, because they got left out of the big boy college football. So I think that's going to be hard to keep up with. But it's a little bit early for the Civil War too. I feel like if it's later. Give them more of a chance, but early in the year, Oregon's pretty healthy. I think they'll run them out of the building.
I'm going to take Oregon State.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to take Oregon State. My guy, Coach Eck, is the head coach of the Vandals of Idaho. He was my offensive coordinator in college. He actually offered me, he wanted me to come coach running backs for him. I turned that down. I'm still here in Lincoln, obviously. He's got them rocking, and they only lost by 10. It's 24-14. First game of the year, I understand. But I don't know. I think Oregon State, they know people feel bad for them and they feel bad for themselves, but that they're not sorry for themselves. They're okay. We're going to show, right? We got firepower over here too. So I'm going to take Oregon State. Notre Dame, Purdue.
Ooh.
Minus 8.5 Notre Dame. And it's at Purdue.
I don't know if Marcus Freeman makes it back to the South Bend if they lose that one.
Yeah.
That's it. That's in state. Purdue. Purdue's looked fine. They've had their game look fine. So it's hard to tell where they're at in year two. So I would have to lean toward Notre Dame at this point. But that's one I'm going to keep on the TV because that's cinema right there.
Yeah, I like Notre Dame to win. They gotta come back with a vengeance. They have he's got to get them right this week.
Yeah.
The last two, Indiana, UCLA. Go ahead.
I like Indiana. I think when we look back at this coaching cycle in the Big Ten, I think that's probably your best hire and your worst hire of the Big Ten coaching cycle. I just can't get over the Deshaun Foster Big Ten Media Day thing. So, and they haven't got off to the best start, beat Hawaii.
Yeah.
But I like Indiana, who's coming off a 77-point game against Western Illinois.
It's at UCLA. They have a -3. I'll probably take Indiana as well. I like that. And then let's wrap this thing up. We have Nebraska, Northern Iowa. What do you feel?
And I think the spread's like 32.5. I feel like Nebraska can cover. I think this is kind of we've been saying all the right things. I think you should outmatch the opponent. We talked about the mix in the pass and in the run on offense, and I think they should be able to put up plenty of points. The defense, you want to maintain that domination that they've had before. If you want to be number one in the country in defense, there's no messing around with Northern Iowa then. So a shutout close to it. Maybe, the backups allow a few points. Maybe they get a field goal or two or a touchdown early in the game against your starters. But I'm thinking somewhere around 48-10 Huskers cover.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I was gonna say we'll see another like 47, 47 like you type of situation. Go Big Red, man.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That'll wrap it up for the locker room this week. Once again, Mikey Daniel and Chancellor Brewington will be back next week to give you more insight from inside the locker room. We will take a quick break here on 93.7 The Ticket, and On the Block will be coming up next.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Primary care that understands you. At CHI Health Clinic, our dedicated primary care team takes time